Belly drops forward. You can lift your heart and look up. And then as you exhale your breath, anchor into your fingers, bring your chin into your chest, round your back. Breathe in, drop your belly, soften across your abdomen, and lift your chin. And then exhale and round into your back. Maybe one or two more of those with your breath. Breathing in, drop your belly. Exhale, tailbone rooting down, navel to spine. Yeah, and then maybe add a little bit of hip circles if you want to, or you can take your hips front and back, or do any more or less than you like normally want to do. And then you could take your toes under, maybe just for a few breaths, come into a downward dog and walk out your legs. Stretch out the back of your hamstrings, Achilles tendon, all the way into your sitting bones. And if that doesn't feel like appropriate today, you could always stay on your hands and knees and just reach one leg back at a time. Okay, good. And then we're going to start our practice today with legs up the wall. So whenever you're ready to find a little way to elevate your legs. And if your space doesn't have a wall nearby, you could also just put your legs up on the bolster with a couple blocks underneath of you. Having a blanket nearby to tuck under the back of your hips is an option. So with the hips elevated, sometimes that'll give the low back more space, creates a little more of an elevation through the chest, right? So with one side of your body next to the wall, you can roll back and then extend your legs all the way up. And we'll be here for about 7 or 8 minutes, but in any time if that starts to feel too uncomfortable in the backs of your legs, you are welcome to do a different shape. So you could take your legs wide or butterfly pose, or do a little squat at the wall. So allowing a little bit of space between the tailbone and the crown of your head. Your arms can come out to the sides or palms on your heart and belly. Relax into your forehead and your jaw can soften. Relax your cheeks and chin. And take a big deep breath as you inhale. Maybe pause at the top. And you can exhale out slowly. And inhale again, like the tide coming in. And then as you exhale, the tide is just rushing back out. And when you feel your attention go back to your thoughts, it's okay. You can just come back to your breath anytime. Consciously slow down your breath. As you exhale, allow your weight to surrender towards the earth. Slow down enough that you can honor the spaces in between the breath. You can maybe wiggle your toes a little bit and create a little softness at the back of the knees. Bend your knees a little. Now, if your legs are still straight, cross your right ankle over your left. Relax your belly. Take a deep breath here. And when you're ready, uncross your ankles and put the left foot on top or opposite foot on top. So take a couple more deep breaths. Uncross your feet if you'd like. You can walk your legs down the wall and do like a little frog squat if you want to. And then when you're ready, you can roll over to your side and off your blanket and then come all the way back over to your mat. That was a nice little starter. It's like a hors d'oeuvre, a little tasty snack. So come back down onto your yoga mat. Excuse me. Bring your bolster and a block or two. And any other additional props that you want to use, you're always welcome to add those. We're going to start with child's pose, and you probably want to elevate the end of the bolster, although you don't have to. You could just do regular child's pose. So if your bolster has a zipper, make sure that it's not facing up. You'll get like a line on your face. And then you can tuck 1 or 2 blocks here at the end, depending on what you have available, right? So you have some support, and then I like to put a little cushion behind my feet, but you could also put a blanket behind the back of your calf muscle to help with knee pain. Big toes together, and then your knees come out to the sides of your bolster, and you're gonna take a deep breath and then fold forward when you're ready. No rush. Kind of make sure as you're coming into your pose, it feels good. And if you need to shift or manage anything, you can take time to do that. Relax your heart onto the bolster. You can turn your head to one direction. The shoulders can move around the bolster a little bit. So maybe there's like a rounding of your back. Make sure that your hands are relaxed wherever your fingers are. They're not holding or gripping too tight. Now that you're here, start to let your weight settle down into the earth. You don't have to hold yourself up all the time. Whenever you are ready, you can move your head to the other direction. Remember that invitation just stands that you can always come back to your breath once you notice you've picked up your thoughts again. Breathe across your low back and kind of allow your breath to expand there. or pool for a few moments. And then you can just kind of feel in to your pose, and when it feels right for you to come out, you can take your head to center first. And if you'd like to stay longer, there's no problem with that. You could set your chin down or your forehead, but just kind of bring your neck back to center. And then you can come up when you're ready and stretch out your legs in a down dog or just hands and knees. And if your head is down, you could keep it on the bolster even. And as long as there's no neck problems, you might even let a little bit of weight go to the top of your head on the bolster. It feels kind of good as long as your neck is happy. Keep supporting with the arms. You can take a breath to come back down. Inhale. And you might even just let your belly go down and do like a cobra if you want. I'm all the way on my fingertips, so a little bit of stretch. I feel like a seal. Okay, good. And then we're gonna move into bound angle pose. So you're gonna turn over. Sitting on a blanket will make this less dramatic of a low back curve. So if you're more petite or you have back stuff, then you're gonna wanna sit on a blanket. Okay, and then you can take blankets outside of the knees, possibly support under your arms if you have extra blocks. Okay, so pause. You could float your wings a couple times if you want to. Your feet might be a little bit farther away from you than normal too. That'd be allowed. If there's one blanket available, you're gonna take it and tuck it over the feet and behind the ankles, right? And come down onto your back and take your arms open to the sides. And then try to relax a little bit, wiggle into the pose and make sure that everything fits your body. If you need more support in certain areas, you can add more blankets. And your arms also could be on your belly or hands on the top of your head. So just find out where your shoulders are going to be relaxed here today. And then just finally kind of come into stillness, relaxing all the muscles in the front of the body. Start to let your exhales grow a little bit longer. Start to drop into that current of peace. Anytime you need to move your legs, you're welcome to stretch them out. We'll be here for just a couple more minutes. Let go of any tension between your eyebrows. Relax your mouth. Okay, and before we come all the way out of bound angle, unless you need to, keep your feet together and bring your hands right at the top of your thighs, where your thighs meet your hips. And then with your fingers pointing inward, just press the heel of your hand down on your femur bones. You can squeeze a little bit just so that your hands don't slip. Think about lengthening the sides of your waist. Okay, good. And then relax and take your hands outside of the back of the thighs and then just lift and bring your knees back to center. Yay, that feels good. And then you can take windshield wipers or stretch your legs forward anytime you want to. I always like to lay there for a few more breaths, but if you're ready to come up right away, just move slowly. You might reach your arms back alongside of your head, point your toes. And then when you're ready to come up, bring your feet in and hold the backs of your thighs. Peel your spine off the bolster, chin to chest. And then I like cross legs, but you can do whichever position feels good. And then you might just pause there, take a breath, reach up. Yeah, just kind of think about like getting ready for the energy to change for your evening, transition to more of a relaxing time. You could do a side bend maybe. Yay. Okay, so we're going to do some mountain brook pose. So we're going to support the low back with a blanket. If you need one, there's some extras over there, Kristen, that have not been touched in literally weeks and months. So you're going to take your blanket or beach towel and just kind of fold it modestly so it's not too bulky, and that's going to go behind the low back. I'll also say that you don't have to do all of the supporting. If you want, you can just leave your low back unsupported. Mountain brook pose is called that because it's like your body is going to flow over the bolsters like a little mountain brook. Okay, so you're going to use the bolster under your knees, and then you can put the blocks under your heels if your feet don't come down. And even if you're tall, you might just check that because sometimes they will and sometimes they won't. So little blanket roll behind the back of your low back, and then we've got support behind the knees. And then you can decide if you want your neck supported or not. That's a lot of blankets. I know it's like 2 blankets, but I don't always want all of the support. Sometimes I want it, sometimes I don't. So you can kind of see how it feels in your nervous system. When I studied with Rodney Yee, he thought leaving the back of the neck unsupported is very important because of the amount of information that your body collects from the back of the skin, of the back of the neck skin. Something I never thought of, obviously. But for a lot of people may need that support. So you just decide for yourself, how does it resonate with you? Yeah, and then shift a little bit into the pose until it fits your body and you're satisfied and can relax. Arms could go out to the sides, the palms facing up or down. Relax your forehead and allow your head to rest back on the earth. We'd like for the shoulder blades to be grounded in the back of the hips, the head and the feet. And start to let your breath expand. Try to relax through your abdomen, soften around your navel, all the way down towards your hips. Notice your exhalation, just returning back in towards your body. The same way that you're just inviting your own self-care in. You can start to maybe wiggle your fingers or toes a little bit. Good. And then when you feel ready, you can take your feet onto the bolster and bring the blanket from behind your low back. For my practice, once that blanket is moved, I could stay a little longer even, or I could just kind of chill there. And sometimes I like to keep my feet on the bolster, and sometimes I just take them back over. But notice how it feels without that prop. You may feel temperature change or circulation difference. Okay, good job. That's it. And then you're going to take your time, maybe roll over to your side if you want. You could pause there for a few moments. There's no rush. It's like sleepy yoga. And then gradually come on all the way up. Yeah. Okay, so our next pose, we're going to do a forward fold with our legs kind of wide, not too wide. That's wide enough. And everybody's going to be a little bit different with how far they can fold. But with your legs out a little wider, that's a little easier. So you could do one bolster on your knees. This always feels a little bit awkward because obviously when we fold forward, we have a middle of our body, right? That goes kerchunk. So if you make a little space for your belly, you can put the blocks at any height. You could do medium height or tall, and that'll give you a little bit more height too, okay? And then a little room for the middle of your body to come forward. You can wrap your chest or armpits over the bolster and then take your head down, maybe one side. And then instead of flexing your toes, just relax your feet and maybe let your toes even can kind of drift out to their natural orientation. Yeah, I'm just hanging out. Let the energy drop away from your mind. Relax your forehead, relax your mouth. Bring your attention to your breath, to the earth. And you could obviously do a different shape of the legs too, if it's better to be like butterfly pose or something. Try to locate the movement of the breath inside your body. Just feel where you notice sensation. If your head is turned to one direction, move it to the other side. Okay, so slowly start to think about coming up. Bring your head to center. Anchor your heels and then bring yourself out of your forward fold. If you're happy there, maybe stay a few more breaths. You can sit back on your hands, lift through the front of the spine. Maybe point your toes. Okay, good. So our next pose, we're gonna do pigeon with a little extra support. So there's options for that. If you have sciatica pain, you're probably gonna wanna be on your back in this shape instead. And I would just put blanket behind the head, foot on bolster. The other option is to take a folded blanket and you're gonna sit on it to start with. I'm gonna leave this bolster here for my arms. So with my right leg folded in front, I've got my right hip on that bolster, blanket. So basically just have a prop there. If you love pigeon pose and you don't want a prop, That's totally fine. I have a lot of ankle pain, so having that blanket there for my foot just worked out really well. So then I'll take my bolster, I might just angle it a little bit the same way my shin and kind of bring my elbows down, or you could go all the way forward. So if you come into your pigeon pose and it's feeling too intense, back out a little bit or come onto your back and see what's happening there. Drop your gaze downward or close your eyes. Sometimes closing the eyes can cause anxiety. So if that's the case, try to keep your gaze soft. And allow a lot of the periphery in. So you're not focusing too hard on one point. And we're just going to do a couple minutes on each side, so not too much. Sometimes your body will ask you to go more into the pose or come out a little bit. So just listen. Allow your breath to move into your body. Okay, when you're ready to come up, you can bring your hands on your bolster, stretch. If you're just getting into your posture, obviously stay a little bit longer. There's no rush. And then I like to stretch my legs in between. I think that's pretty normal just to get that right hip moving again. You could stretch it back through down dog or just here a couple times. Basically just kind of make sure that that hip joint is still working. Okay, and then we're going to do the other side. So you can prop up the left hip and bring your foot in front. And then you may have to shift that blanket again and just get it right in the right spot. Take your bolster in and then come down when you're ready. And if there's a really busy mind, it's okay. You can just kind of really gently put your thoughts down when you've picked them up again. Try to not kick up a lot more dust, you know? Let things rest. And focus your attention on that pattern of breath. It might change or grow. And you kind of realize that we have this opportunity to be present in the moment or with our drama of our life. Come up whenever you feel ready, and then stretch out your left leg. Cool, maybe hip circles again or anything that you need to do there. Okay, awesome. Everybody feels good? Yeah, drink water anytime you need to. It's a good practice. And then next we're gonna just do tree pose on our back. So the only prop that you might want something behind your head if your neck is tight, or a blanket out to one side so you can put your knee down. So basically we're gonna take the bolster off to the side, stretch the legs forward, and just kind of start on your back and reach through your arms alongside of your head, point your toes. You might imagine that you're like shooting little stars out of your fingers and toes. Get a little bit longer. Awesome. And then just bring your right knee into your body, and you can hold the front of your shin or the back of your thigh. And circle your right foot around a couple times, both directions. And then you could move your knee over your hip a couple times, circles or whatever movement just feels good. And then we're going to place the right foot inside of your inner left thigh and just allow your knee to drop out to the side. So you could tuck the blanket there if you need to, or go without. And then the left foot can drop out to the side if you'd like. Maybe there's an external rotation there. You could cover your eyes and then bring your arms out maybe like broken branches. So the elbows could be bent a little bit. Fingers relaxed. And if the arms reaching out is too much, just place your hands on your body. Allow the right knee just to drop out. And breathe into this inner right thigh. As you inhale, imagine the tide coming in. As you exhale, send it back out. I'd like you just to notice the tailbone and the sort of the bottom of the torso, the pelvic floor. Take a deep breath. That's like our root chakra. You might imagine a red lotus flower. And then I'd like you to move your attention a few inches above your pubic bone, right beneath your belly button. So that's your sacral chakra. And you can imagine an orange colored lotus flower turning. And take a breath there, as if the breath is what's turning that wheel or chakra center. And then bring your awareness up right underneath of the rib cage where the diaphragm rests, the solar plexus. You can imagine a yellow, bright yellow lotus flower spinning there as you breathe. And just slowly bringing your awareness up the trunk of the tree into the heart center, Anahata chakra. You can imagine a green lotus flower there, spinning clockwise. And then just kind of feeling the space at the throat, imagining a blue lotus flower turning. You can bring your awareness to your third eye and picture a beautiful purple lotus flower turning, floating. And then floating right above the crown of your head, imagine a beautiful white flower with thousands of petals spinning. So you're going to take your right knee back into your body and give your leg a hug. Move your toes on your right foot, flex and point. And then you could extend your right leg into the air, maybe hold the back of your shin, the back of the thigh, or the calf muscle. Awesome. When you're ready, take your legs back down, big stretch head to toe. And then we're going to bring your left knee into your body and hug your leg and move your foot a little bit left and right. So that's a really simple chakra meditation, and we're going to do it again, but from the crown of the head down, back down to the root. You could circle your left leg a little bit. So as you kind of survey these energy centers of your body and just kind of looking in for a few breaths, just kind of notice how it feels. You don't have to be able to describe it in words. Just kind of notice, and if you feel sort of an energetic difference in one area of your body, you might just sort of notice and make a mental note for later. Okay, so left foot inside of the inner right thigh. When you're ready, come into tree pose here on your back. Just relax. Arms can find wherever they want to be. And bring your attention back to your breath. Relax the muscles in your face, heart, belly, arms, and legs. And so this time starting at the crown of the head, the crown chakra. Imagine a white lotus flower spinning. And then bring your awareness to your third eye and imagine a purple flower. And noticing the space at the throat, blue chakra. Breathe into your heart center, imagining the color green. And letting your attention come below the rib cage to the solar plexus, channeling the color yellow. In the low belly, you can feel into the breath, deep in the abdomen. Imagine the color orange. And at the base of the spine, finally, the root chakra is red. Said that the chakras live right in front of the spine in the body. And most of them correspond with glands or organs. Nice energetic check. And take a few breaths, just kind of bringing that energy from the root all the way up to the crown of the head as you inhale, and then as you exhale, bringing that energy back down. Anytime you're ready, you can bring your left knee back into your body and hug your leg. Maybe stretch out your leg into the air. And then just kind of take a nice big head to toe stretch, no rush. You might cross your ankles again like you did in the beginning and legs up the wall. Yeah, and then take your time, whatever you need here. You might like to stretch a little more or hug your legs and rock a little bit side to side. Happy baby is an option too if you want to grab your big toes or your heels. We're just going to do a couple more poses before Shavasana, but they'll be a little longer and a lot slower if it's possible. So take your time. You can roll to your side and come up when you're ready. We're going to do a side lying pose on either side of the body, and then Shavasana. So maybe if you would like a little time to stretch, you can bring yourself up to a seat, like do a little side bend, or take a twist with one hand back behind you, opposite hand across the knee. And then go in the other direction. Take a deep breath there. Not too deep, just enough of a twist that your body gets a ringing out. Okay, good. And then you can grab your bolster and let's put it over to the right side of your mat. If you have two bolsters, you could use another one behind your back, but one will do fine. And then maybe a blanket underneath of your head. So you're going to turn on to the side of your body and then probably take this blanket, put it over your folded arm. Okay, you can just pause there. Take this bolster and bring it down about knee height, and then take your left leg from the knee all the way to the foot onto your bolster. So there's a lot of support. Fix your neck prop so that you get just the right amount underneath of your head. And the left arm can rest at the side of the body. Start by noticing what's in connection to the floor. And just giving permission to release downward towards the earth. Relax your jaw again. Soften your eyes. And expanding your exhalations allows your nervous system to kind of drop into that relaxation mode. And consciously resting, practicing relaxation. Give yourself soft reminders that there's nothing more to do right now. Maybe just ask yourself again to let go, begin somewhere. Take one deep breath and dive. Courage is starting where there is no secure outcome, no sure result. The secret is you can begin again at any time. Take one deep breath and dive. There's no rush to do so, but when you feel ready, you'll roll to your back. Just take time to stretch from head to toes. We can move the bolster after that. Big stretch, walk your heels and your arms away from each other. And stretch. And then you're going to take your bolster to the opposite side and bring your other knee over. And I'm reading a little bit of poetry from this book by Dana Falds. It's called From Root to Bloom. It's like a book of yoga poetry. Notice where your body connects to the floor. And if there's a hardening of those muscles, you can just invite some softening. Allow the side of your leg to relax, your hip, your arm. With your exhalations, drop down into softness. There is love here. I feel the warm embrace of spirit flowing into me from somewhere I can't see. There is love here, arising inside me as naturally as the sky brightens before dawn. Love enough to fill all of us, and more besides. The spontaneous grace of the divine is moving through the universe, unfazed by fear or obstacles of any kind. Yes, it's clear. There is love here. Each time you return to your breath, it's like coming back to that love. No judgment in your breath, in that place, in the present. It's clear. Tune into your body, and whenever you're ready to come back onto your back, big stretch. And we're going to make our way into Shavasana for about 10 or 15 minutes. So like lots of time for transition. Taking your knees over a bolster or a folded blanket will help relax the hip flexors deep in the belly. So when you come up and it readjusts, like take care of anything you need to take care of. If you need to stretch a little bit, if you need to put your blanket on or a sweatshirt or whatever, cover your eyes. I'm going to talk you through like a 5-minute guided relaxation of just kind of progressively softening your body. And then I'm going to be quiet for like 10 minutes. So if you're more petite, put something behind underneath of your feet so that your ankles aren't dangling there. And then if you have cramps today, or you just like a little bit of extra grounding, you can always fold a blanket and put it over your belly or on your abdomen. That can feel good to have a little bit of pressure. Okay. And then your arms can extend out, or your hands could be on your belly and your heart. It's the most important that you're relaxed there. So if you aren't comfortable, take time, get cozy. And then just start to commit to stillness. And notice what happens. Start to feel into the back body, just allowing weight to come into your heels, hips, back of the shoulders, even the head. Notice where the arms connect to the floor too. Just notice the breath rising in the belly. Inhale, nice big breath. And exhale slowly. With your eyes closed, take an inhale and lift your eyebrows towards your hairline, keeping your eyelids down. And then exhale and soften those muscles in the forehead. Take another breath, and as you exhale, relax your cheeks and chin, making space between your upper and lower front teeth, and bringing your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Take a breath into your collarbones and fill up your chest. And then as you exhale, soften your heart into your body. Relax your belly. You feel the weight of the arms and legs. And start to watch your breath. As you inhale, imagine a wave of the ocean just coming in, tide coming into the body. Exhale, roll it back out. There's no more to do. This is what I have to say to you. It is possible to be whole, to hold the space for personal witness, the beloved, the world, and the vastness all at once. Of course, this is way too big for the mind to grasp, let alone control. It seems impossible. But this is what awakening is. Allowing the impossible to live and be and breathe within your being. The whole is everywhere. The truth is not concerned with whether your small self quakes before enormity. Anxiety doesn't change truth, cannot make you smaller unless you let it. Live the truth of your awakening today. The infinite and the particular integrated through and through. The universe coming alive in your eyes. Your smile, your heart opening wider and wider until love knows no more boundaries at all. And the universe is happening in you. We must be ready and willing to give up the life we had planned in order to have the one that is ready and waiting for us. You can start to stretch a little bit, wake up your body through a deeper breath in. Give us a couple minutes to wake up and return from Shavasana. You could roll to your side when you're ready. Pause for a couple of moments. And then whenever you do come up, just take a couple of breaths with me, sitting cross-legged or wherever it feels comfortable for you. Stack your chakras, align them. It's like right along the spine. So even just sitting up tall, it's like aligning the chakras and giving them space, right? You can take your palms face up with your hands, back of the hands on your knees, and maybe let your index finger, thumb come together. That's like wisdom and compassion meeting on your behalf. And then grace is possible. And just kind of notice how you feel from root to bloom, from your roots all the way to the part of you that's blossoming. And then fold your hands together and bring your thumbs to your third eye and just bow your chin. Just kind of dropping into your intuition and that gratitude for your inner wisdom. You can bring your hands to your heart center. With so much gratitude, I bow my heart to you in your practice. Thank you for allowing me to serve you. A beautiful night. I see the light in you. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for taking care of yourself. Keep doing it. It's really hard. It's really hard work, but you deserve it. So give yourself a hug. Thank you guys so much for having class tonight.